I'm going to share with you the magic wand that changes your face. This is the REM straw. I'm not sponsored by them. I don't make any money by promoting them. I just thought this might be valuable to you, so I'm sharing it. It's essentially a silicone nozzle on a standard metallic straw, and that's just what it is. The interesting part is how they've designed this nozzle, like the shape of this thing. It's shaped in such a way that you cannot just suck water through this. There's a specific way in which you need to position your tongue and your palate that forces you to apply pressure on the roof of your mouth. It's a lot like mewing, but it's just stronger. You apply way more pressure and in a different way than usual that it causes your face to change. It applies pressure to your maxilla, which basically the more prominent, or I should say the better developed your maxilla, the overall wider your face is going to be, the more handsome you're going to look. Now you already probably know this because every single video on mewing on the planet explains this, so there's no reason for me to do so again. There used to be a time in which mewing was this underground phenomenon, but now everybody knows it. It's a meme. So I won't bore you with boring mewing stuff. I'll show you the new stuff. This straw was designed to prevent people from snoring. Now the actual technique on using this is kind of confusing, so I'll do the best I can with a demonstration. I have a glass of water with me. I have the REM straw. It's basically done like this. All right. So pay attention. All right. I don't know where to start with this. First, start by making the N sound. So N. When you do that, your tip of the tongue is going to touch a specific part of your mouth. Basically, the bump right behind the teeth. Right. So try to do it for yourself right now. Say N and feel where the tongue lies on the roof of your mouth. All right. Keep that in your mind. So when you use this thing, what you're doing is you put this in your mouth and then you press the tip of your tongue to the same spot that you connected with when you made the N sound. So your tongue is basically gonna press against this part of the nozzle. So if you look at this carefully, and I'll put in B-roll which kind of zooms into this, you are placing your lips right here, right? Not on the actual bump on the nozzle. So it's gonna look like this. All right, and you're going to place the tongue right here to essentially shift this like this to the roof of your mouth. All right, so this thing is facing like in there. Pressing the tip of the tongue against this part, and you're using the middle of the tongue to actually cause the suction required to drink the water. So imagine this, right? This is the roof of the mouth. This is your tongue. This is going to be your teeth. So you start like this with the tip of the tongue touching the top of the roof of the mouth, or the front of the roof of the mouth, I should say. From here, you bring down the mid of the tongue, which causes a vacuum, which sucks in the water, and then you press up against it to force the water to go into your throat. So essentially you're doing this, right, with your tongue, in order to get the water down your throat. You can obviously understand how that's going to apply a pulsating pressure to the roof of your mouth, and that's going to apply pressure to the maxilla, and that's going to change the structure of your face. So the main benefit isn't even the structure of your face. There are other benefits, but I will explain after the actual demonstration. So I'm going to do it. I'm not going to speak, obviously. I'm just going to do it, and you're going to see how it looks. All right, even after doing it for only a few seconds, I'm gonna let this airplane fly overhead. Even after I do it for just a few seconds, right, I can feel these muscles engaging. I'm not even sure why that is, why the neck muscles would be so involved in the tongue movement, but it's the case. I mean, in the end of the day, like all the muscles of the, the airway system of our body are interconnected. So I'm not entirely surprised that the neck muscles are involved in the movement of your jaw and your tongue. And of course, the tongue is actually a very important structural muscle. Most people just think of the tongue as a thing which tastes food. It's not true. The tongue is one of the pillars keeping your head in a stable position. Of course, your neck is the main pillar, but your tongue is in some sense muscularly attached to your neck. The structure of your head is supported by the neck muscles and then the tongue in the middle. Regardless, we're getting way off topic. I think when I did the demonstration, you could see that my cheeks were not engaged. I was not using the cheek muscles to swallow. I was using the tongue and the throat muscles to swallow. This is very important, and I'm going to explain this. This teaches the correct movement pattern to swallow food. So essentially, you're using this to learn how to swallow food correctly. And that is, of course, a lifelong habit. This has obvious benefits for your jawline, but also for digestion. In fact, you will stop craving fast food, candy, and packaged foods if you actually chew properly. Let me explain myself. The reason is because these corrupt food scientists, they've engineered the food in such a way that they're overstimulating for the first few seconds of chewing so that you get addicted to it. If you actually chewed your junk food, your candy, your packaged goods more, the real flavor starts to emerge and it doesn't taste good. You can try this experiment for yourself. If you chew an unhealthy food, any unhealthy food, for a longer period of time, it will taste like shit. On the other hand, if you have a whole food meal, steak and potatoes, or even something more basic like chicken and rice, it will actually taste good as you chew more. In fact, more flavors will be unlocked as you chew. Now, of course, you need to be a good chef, essentially. You need to know how to prepare good food. If you want the return of the old style cooking videos, let me know in the comments. But why is this? This is because these corrupt food scientists have hijacked your brain, and they can only hijack your brain for a few seconds. Basically, if you're eating like Cheetos or something, it has, MSG. It tricks your brain into thinking this is highly, highly nutritious food, but only for a few seconds. If you give your body time to analyze the truth, analyze the food using your chemical receptors, which is your tongue. So what is taste? Taste is chemical signals. It's information about the world, right? It is not just for your enjoyment. Taste is not something for your enjoyment. Taste is created as a system to assess the nutritional value and the risks of food, because food can obviously be spoiled or it can contain parasites, whatever, right? So taste is a function that prevents you from eating unhealthy food and eating healthy food. The modern day, we have foods which act as though they're hyper healthy by tricking the brain, but they're actually not. Just give your taste receptors time to act and the truth will come out. Think about the downstream effects. You crave snacks because you perceive a dopamine reward. If you can teach your brain that the reward isn't real, not through logic, not through watching an educational YouTube video, but through experience, how valuable is it to pass on this skill of correct chewing to your children and your grandchildren? If you incorporate mindful eating, you will eat better food. It is that simple. But coming back to the REM straw, the REM straw was designed, of course, to improve breathing and prevent snoring. And when we speak about looks is downstream of two things. It's health and genetic quality. And of course, health is more within our control than our genetic quality is. That being said, look out for the Esoteric Epigenetics Guide. When it comes to health, the quality of our breathing is such an underrated factor. This is of personal importance to me because I had breathing problems for years. I have recorded an updated esoteric breathing guide, and if I had this guide 6 years ago, I would not have needed to go through surgery to fix my breathing. If you've learned something new in this video, you should watch that video next. I will place it in the end screen tile. I will show you the exact techniques that you haven't seen before and devices that you have not seen before. With that, I'll close out. Remember, if you do not sacrifice for your dreams become the sacrifice.